Good morning, all. In the second unit of Optics and Electrodynamics course of second semester MSc Physics students, today we will start the first chapter, Electromagnetic Waves. Before going to the details of electromagnetic waves, first we will discuss the classical wave and then we will move to electromagnetic waves. So consider a classical wave first we will discuss classical wave equation. Classical wave equation. Consider a wave generated by shaking a string. Consider a stretched string and a wave is generated in the stretched string by shaking at one end of the stretched string. Then the shape will travel from one place to one point to another point, and consider let us assume the shape of vibration of string is like this, and it is traveling along the string, and after some time it will reach a point. This is z direction, and this shape is traveling. After some time it will again reach another point. So this shape of wave at this position, let this be at time t equal to 0. At time t equal to 0, at time t equal to 0, the position is at this point, and this is at time t equal to t. X-axis, this represents the z direction. The wave is traveling along the z direction, and this represents the displacement of string, that is represented by y. Y is equal to f of z. Y equal to f of z. Z and t. F is a function of z and t, and this represents f z. Here the time is t equal to 0. So we can write this as f z 0, and here the function is f z t. So after t time it is traveling. Let v be the velocity of the wave traveling through the string. Then at t time it will travel a distance of vt. Let the shape of wave be at t equal to 0. The shape of wave is represented by, let the shape of wave is represented by gz. At t equal to 0, the shape of wave is represented by gz. So gz is defined as f z 0. So after t time it will travel a distance vt. So after t time the shape will be, after t time, see this figure, after t time it is reaching at this point, and at this point the shape is same as that at t equal to 0. So the shape of wave at this point is same as the shape of wave at t equal to 0. So at this point, if I take the coordinate z coordinate as z, then this point it will be z minus vt, since the wave is traveling through a distance vt during the time t. So the shape of wave, we can write the shape of wave, or we can write the function f z t, the function at t equal to t, that will be same as the function g z minus vt. So at this point the wave shape will be same as g z minus vt, the z coordinate which is moving, the wave is moving through a distance vt during time t. So the function f of zt will be equal to gz minus vt. F of z0, that is equal to, if f of z0 equal to gz, then f of zt at t time, here this z at t time, this z will be same as the shape of this wave at t time will be same as the shape of wave at t equal to 0. The shape of wave at t equal to 0 is represented by gz. Z represents the z coordinate, and when you take this point, at this point the shape will be same as that at this point. This point is designated by the z coordinate. When you take t time, this represents the z coordinate z. So at 0 time its z coordinate should be z minus vt. That's why this g of z, this z is replaced by z minus vt. That means the function, it should be a function of z minus vt. So the traveling wave, we can represent the traveling wave as, if we have a function, if f of zt, f of zt equal to a e raised to minus b into z minus vt the whole square. This is also a function of z minus vt. So this can represent a traveling wave along the z direction. Another wave is represent, this I am giving f1. Consider another function f2. Consider another function f2, function of zt is equal to a by b into z minus vt the whole square plus 1. This is also a wave equation because it is a function of z minus vt. But if you take a function like this, f3 zt is equal to, if you have a function like f3 zt equal to a e raised to minus b into a z square plus vt. If I have a function like this, then it cannot represent the traveling wave along z direction. This cannot be the wave equation. If it is a function of z minus vt, then it can be a wave equation. It can be z minus vt the whole square, or you can have sine of z minus vt or cosine of z minus vt. All these are traveling waves. If you have a function, this is not a wave equation, this can be a wave equation, this also can be a wave equation. If you have a function like this, f z t is equal to a sine k into z minus vt. This is also, since it is a function of z minus vt, this is also a wave equation. This can be a wave equation. f5 zt is equal to b cosine of kz minus vt. This can also represent a wave equation. Or you can have f6, another function of the form a sine bz. If we have a function a sine bz cos b vt square. So this is a function of z, this is vt square. So this cannot represent a wave. If it is a sin kz minus vt or a cos kz minus vt, then it is a wave equation. So it should be a function of z minus vt, and it should not be function of z square minus vt or z minus vt square, like that. Now we will obtain the classical wave equation. These are the forms of waves, and now we obtain a classical wave equation. Consider a string, consider a stretched string, and the wave is produced by shaking the string in a perpendicular direction. If I move the string in perpendicular direction, then the wave is produced in the string, and it will be traveling from one point to another point along the string. And I am considering a small part of that string which is displaced from its actual position. Consider a small part of that string. String is along the z direction and it is displaced. So let that small part be represented by AB. So this is displacement along y direction, y is equal to f. This is z direction. And along this point, if I draw a tangent, then with the horizontal, this is making an angle theta. Theta is angle made by the this string with horizontal at the point A. If this is theta, then this angle will be theta. And the tension acting on the string at this point T, which is along the tangent. And when I resolve this T into two components, I will be having T cos theta along the z direction and T sin theta along the y direction. This is T sin theta. At this point, when I draw a tangent, its tension will be T, since it is same string. So at A and B, the tension will be same. With the x direction, this it is making an angle theta dash. This angle will be different from this angle. Different points are having different angle. This string is not a straight line. If it is a straight, then the angle will be same. Since it is curved, the angle made by the tangent at different points with the x direction will be different. So this angle, I am taking the angle made by the tangent at the point B as with the horizontal as theta dash, and this T is tension. So along the x direction we are having T cos theta dash, and along the y direction we are having T sin theta dash. We are considering the displacement along y direction. So the net force along y direction, that I am taking as delta F along that small element of length. That's why delta is given. Net force along y direction, delta F is equal to T sin theta prime. Here y direction force is T sin theta prime, and here the force along y direction T sin theta. This is along upward direction and this is along downward direction, or this is positive y direction, this one is negative y direction. So this is minus T sin theta. So the net force is T sin theta minus T sin theta prime minus T sin theta. If theta and theta dash are small, if these angles are small, then sin theta approximately equal to tan theta. Sin theta is opposite side by hypotenuse, tan theta is opposite side by adjacent side. If theta is very small, then opposite side by adjacent side and opposite side by hypotenuse are more or less same. So we can take sin theta approximately equal to tan theta, sin theta prime approximately equal to tan theta prime. So this equation becomes delta F equal to T into tan theta prime minus tan theta. Actually tan theta is slope of curve. Slope is f is a function of z and t. So we can take slope as y direction we are taking f. So the differential change in f with respect to differential change in z. So the differential change in f with respect to z, we can write it as dou f by dou z. So at theta prime, it will be delta f equal to t into dou f by dou z at this point I am taking as z, and this point I am taking as z plus delta z. So along z direction, we are traveling a distance of delta z. So this is at z plus delta z minus dou f by dou z at z. So tan theta prime is dou f by dou z at this point. This point is z plus delta z, and tan theta is dou f by dou z at this point, which is at z. So this is t into dou f by dou z at z plus delta z minus dou f by dou z at z equal to z. This change we can, if I draw a graph by taking dou f by dou z along dou f by dou z along y direction and z along x direction, if you are having a graph like this, then if I take this as z, and at this point this is z plus delta z, then the change dou f by dou z at z plus delta z minus dou f by dou z at z by, this is final y minus initial y by final x minus initial x. So z plus delta z minus z is delta z. That will be change of this quantity along y direction with respect to quantity along z direction. So this quantity is dou f by dou z. So this represents the change of dou f by dou z with respect to z. Change of dou f by dou z with respect to z is dou by dou z of dou f by dou z. That will be dou square f by dou z square. So this will represent the second derivative of f with respect to z. So in this equation, we need dou f by dou z at z plus delta z minus dou f by dou z at z, which will be same as delta z into this quantity. So we can write this as t into dou square f by dou z square into delta z, not delta f. This one is delta z into delta z. This I am taking as equation number 1. Now consider m as, we are considering mu as the linear density of string. Let mu as the linear density of string. Mu as the linear density of string. So the mass of string between z and z plus delta z. So the length of string between z and z plus delta z is delta z. Mu is mass per unit length. So the mass of string, it is a part of string, that string of length, mass of string AB, that string is named AB. So mass of string AB, what is the mass of string AB? That will be equal to mass per unit length is mu, length of that string is delta Z. So the mass of that string AB will be mu into delta Z. So from the total string, I am taking a small element of string called AB, which is between Z and Z plus delta Z. So that length of that string AB is delta Z, mass per unit length is mu. So the mass of string AB is mu into delta Z. Now we take the Newton's second law. From Newton's second law, from Newton's second law of motion, the force force is delta F equal to mass is mu delta Z into acceleration. Acceleration is dou square y by dou t square. Here it is dou square F by dou t square. So this is equation number 2. From equations 1 and 2, 1 is delta F equal to T into dou square F by dou Z square into delta Z, and 2 is mu delta Z into dou square F by dou T square. So from equations 1 and 2, we can write T into dou square F by dou Z square into delta Z equal to mu delta Z into dou square F by dou T square. This delta Z will get cancelled. You can write this as dou square F by dou Z square equal to mu by T dou square F by dou T square. This mu by T we can represent in terms of velocity of wave in a stretched string. The expression for velocity of wave in a stretched string is given by V equal to root of T by mu, where T is the tension and mu is the linear density of string. Then the velocity of wave in a string is given by root of T by mu, or V square equal to T by mu. Reciprocal of that, mu by T equal to 1 by V square. So we will be having dou square F by dou Z square is equal to, instead of mu by T, we can write it as 1 by V square. So 1 by V square dou square F by dou T square. Equation 3. Equation 3 represents the classical wave equation in one dimension. So equation 3 represents the classical wave equation in one dimension. So this is classical wave equation in one dimension. In 3 dimension, this equation becomes, in 3 dimension, the classical wave equation can be written as dou square left hand side, instead of Z we will be having x, y, z. F is a function of, F will be a function in 3 dimension, F will be a function of x, y, z and t. So left hand side will be having dou square F by dou x square plus dou square F by dou y square plus dou square F by dou z square, that we can write it as del square. So del square F equal to 1 by V square dou square F by dou t square, where del square is nothing but dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. So this equation represents the wave equation in 3 dimension. So considering the wave equation in 1 dimension, we are having dou square F by dou Z square equal to 1 by V square dou square F by dou T square. Equation number 3. It will be having a solution. We can have a solution of the form. We can admit a solution of the form f of zt equal to g of z minus vt, a function of z minus vt. This represents a wave propagating along positive z direction. If a wave is propagating along negative z direction, if the wave is propagating along negative z direction, then it can be represented by f of z t equal to, I am taking another function, let us take it as h function of, instead of z minus vt, v is replaced by minus v, so it will be z plus vt. So z plus vt represents a wave propagating along negative z direction. So the general solution of wave, the general wave equation, the solution of wave equation, it will be a linear combination of these two, which will be having a wave propagating along positive z direction and a wave propagating along negative z direction. So the general solution of a wave equation in one dimension can be written as, f of zt equal to g z minus vt plus h z plus vt, equation number 6. So equation 6 represents the general solution of wave equation. Equation 4 represents the wave propagating along the positive z direction, and equation 5 represents the wave propagating along negative z direction. So the general solution will be a linear combination of these two. So we can write the general solution as equation number 6. Now, as a special case, we will consider a sinusoidal wave. Consider the case with sinusoidal waves. In the case of sinusoidal waves, they are represented by sinusoidal waves are represented by either sine function or cosine function. Here I am taking it as cosine function. So we can represent a sinusoidal wave as f of zt is equal to a cosine of k z minus vt plus delta. So this equation number 7. Or in a similar way, you can represent the wave as a sine k of k into z minus vt plus delta, which represents the wave propagating along positive z direction. If it is propagating along negative z direction, then it will be k into z plus vt. Now consider the phase delta, where delta is the initial phase. When I take the maximum amplitude is obtained when cosine of this function is equal to 1. Cosine of this function equal to 1, then f of zt, that will be equal to amplitude, which will be maximum. This we can call it a central maxima. So the maximum amplitude is obtained when cosine of this function, that should be equal to 1, or this function, it should be equal to 0. That means k into z minus vt plus delta equal to 0. So at maximum, the value of delta will be from this, when I calculate the value of, no, I am calculating value of z. So this delta taking to right hand side, k into z minus vt equal to minus delta, or z minus vt equal to minus delta by k, or z equal to vt minus delta by k. Vt minus delta by k. So at t equal to 0, this is maxima, not central maxima. Central maxima is obtained when t equal to 0. When t equal to 0, z is equal to minus delta by k. So this is central maxima. So when I draw the cosine function, if I am having a wave like this, y equal to a cos k into z minus vt, if phase is 0, then the graph will be like this. If I draw the graph, cosine graph, then the graph will be so. This is cosine. If you draw sine, if it is y equal to a sine k into z minus vt, then the graph will be like this. So this point at z equal to 0, t equal to 0, this point is 0. At z equal to 0, t equal to 0, this is cos 0, this maxima is here. But when I take this function y equal to a cos k z minus vt plus delta, so this graph is, so in this case, this maxima when t equal to 0, z is minus delta by k. So this is z0, this one is z, and this, let this point be minus delta by k. So the central maxima, this is at z equal to 0. This maxima for this equation, we are getting maxima at z equal to 0. But in this case, for this equation, we are having maxima shifted towards left. So this maxima will be somewhere here, and the graph will be like this. So this, its maxima is shifted by a phase angle of delta by k towards left. So the phase difference is minus delta by k at t equal to 0. So this represents the wave y equal to a cos k into z minus vt, and this is a harmonic wave. The wave vector k related to this wave, the wave vector k can be written as 2 pi by lambda. Wave vector k equal to 2 pi by lambda, and the frequency nu, angular frequency omega is given by 2 pi nu, where nu is the frequency, and the period t equal to 2 pi by omega or 1 by nu. So t is period, omega is angular frequency, nu is its frequency, and k is wavelength. So the velocity of wave can be written as velocity of wave v is equal to we have nu lambda, or I am multiplying and dividing by 2 pi, so 2 pi nu into lambda by 2 pi. 2 pi by lambda is k, so lambda by 2 pi is 1 by k. 2 pi nu is omega, so this will be equal to omega by k. So the relation between velocity and wave vector is v is equal to omega by k. This is omega by k. Or we can write v equal to omega by k. So we can write the wave equation as wave equation is y equal to, for a harmonic wave we are having y equal to a cos kz minus omega k into z minus, the equation is k into z minus vt. This we can write it as kz minus kvt, which can be written as kz minus kv. What is kv? Kv will be omega, so it is kz minus omega t plus delta. So this term we can write it as y equal to a cos kz minus omega t plus delta. In a similar way, we can write the wave propagating along. This represents a cos kz minus omega t plus delta represents the wave propagating along positive z direction. In a similar way, we can write the wave propagating along negative z direction as a cosine of minus kz minus omega t plus delta, or you can write a cosine of kz plus omega t minus delta. In both the minus, when I take common outside, then cos of minus theta will be cos theta. That's why we are writing in this form. In complex notation, the same wave equation we can write in complex notation as complex notation using Euler formula. We can write the wave equation as, the Euler formula is e raised to I theta equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So this function will be f of zt will be the real part of, this will be equal to the real part of a e raised to I kz minus omega t plus delta. Its real part will be a cos z minus omega t plus delta. We will be having cos kz minus omega t plus delta plus I sin kz minus omega t plus delta. So this function y is represented by the real part. So this will be equal to the real part of a e raised to I kz minus omega t plus delta, or we can represent it as the complex form. We can represent it as f z t equal to a e raised to I kz minus omega t plus delta, or I can write it as f of zt equal to a e raised to, this I am splitting into two terms, e raised to I delta into e raised to I kz minus omega t. A e raised to I delta I am taking as complex amplitude. A e raised to I delta is represented by a complex. So we can write the complex, in complex notation we can write the wave equation as f zt equal to a e raised to I kz minus omega t. So this is the wave equation in complex notation. The actual wave will be the real part of this complex wave equation. So f of zt will be the real part of complex wave f of zt. Next class we will discuss the reflection and transmission of wave in a stretched string. Reflection and transmission of mechanical wave in a stretched string. Okay, thank you.